Welcome to Flash Tutorial Request 30, Global Destinations, Part 2. It's a follow-up to Part 1, which I have opened on my computer now. If you have any questions or comments, you can contact me at flashthingy@hotmail.com. Lock all layers. Select this city button layer, insert a layer. Call this layer Cairo, C-A-R-I-O. Go into the library, new symbol. This will make sure movie clip is selected. This will be Montreal to Cairo, _MC. Okay, now we're inside this movie clip. Let's call this plane. This is exactly the same. I'll do a few with you. And we want to find this movie clip here that we got just called plane movie clip, this one. Drag it on the stage and the alignment panel, center it on there. Go back to scene 1. Select frame 1 of the Cairo layer. Find this Montreal to Cairo movie clip. Put them right there on top of there. Double click on it. Now we want this one to go to Cairo. And it should take about the same time to go to Cairo, which was around 80 keyframes, or 80 frames. But I'm going to do this one slightly different. I'm going to click on this, right click, and up here, see I right clicked on this airplane, and create a motion tween. And see what it did for me? It put some frames in the timeline, and go up to about frame 80. Insert a keyframe and position. Now, if I look here, there's no other dots in this. Click here so my playhead is there. Click on my airplane and put it in Cairo. Now, you see this line? We can take this line and arch it. And this is probably how you'll want to do them. So now if I hit my enter button, we'll see how the airplane makes an arch down to Cairo. Lock that layer. Insert a layer. Action script, AS. Select frame 1. And if you look in there, that tells us that has that special tween in there. Open the actions panel, STOP, open close bracket, semicolon. Go back to scene 1, back to the main timeline, and select that frame 1 of that Cairo layer. Okay, you see the airplane is there? We don't want it there. It's got to be on a blank frame. So go back to that movie clip, and right here, get that double arrow. See that? Go up here, get that double arrow, and just pull that over one. Now go back to scene 1, and the plane's not there. Open up the action panel. Now we got to write the code for it. So we can copy this. Select here, hit a couple enters, maybe 3 to get some nice spacing. Paste it in, and this is going to be the Cairo button, C-A-R-I-O. And this is going to be Montreal to Cairo. So just copy Cairo and replace Paris with Cairo. Be careful doing these, because if you make any mistakes, that particular section won't work, and you'll get an error. I'm just pasting that word Cairo in. Now, let's go back to make sure I gave that. I'm almost certain I did, but let's check that. I'm just selecting frame 1 of Cairo. I'm highlighting it and making sure I gave it an instance name. No, I didn't. Look at that. So right here, this will be Montreal, capital T-O-C-A-R-I-O. Now, let's test this out. 2 destinations work from Montreal. I got an error. It says frame 1 line 13. I have an error. So let's go look at that. Frame 1 line 13. Cairo button. If I unlock the Cairo layer, that's the one where the errors are, and I select frame 1 and highlight this. Now you may not have gotten this error. I forgot to say _MC. Shift _MC. Now let's test it. Okay, that's the error. So now, if I click Paris, a plane goes to Paris. And if I click Cairo, that one arches and goes to Cairo. Let's do this last one for Montreal. Let's lock this layer, select this buttons layer again, insert a layer, and call this one Perth, P-E-R-T-H. And we'll do the same thing. Open the library panel, make a new symbol. This is going to be Montreal to Perth. _MC. And while we're inside this new movie clip, we're going to put that plane in. Open the alignment panel and align him. Going back to scene 1. Make sure frame 1 of that Perth layer. Open the library. Grab this Montreal to Perth airplane. Stack them on top of them there. Double click on it. Now we're inside that movie clip. Right click on it. Create a motion tween. And it's got to go to Perth, which is way down here. So before I think we went to around 80. So let's go up around 130. Insert the keyframe. Position. And I'm just scanning and making sure nothing came in there. Selecting that last frame. And I'm dragging this down to Perth. I'm going to give this a big arch like that. Go back here, get those double arrows, move it over 1 frame. Call this plane, P-L-A-N-E. Lock it, insert a layer, action script, A-S, frame 1, stop, S-T-O-P, open close bracket semicolon. Now I can go back to scene 1. I just want to select that frame 1, highlight it, and open the properties panel. And we got to give it an instance name. M-O-N-T-R-E-A-L 2 P-E-R-T-H _MC. Don't forget that this time. Open the actions panel. And copy this one. Right click, copy. 3 enters. Paste it. Everywhere we see Cairo, put Perth. P-E-R-T-H. Copy Perth. Replace Cairo again. Paste it in there. Paste it in there. Paste it in there. And paste it in here. Checking, I'm doing a format and I'm checking to see if there are any obvious faults. Control, test, movie, test. No errors. I know Paris works. I know Cairo works. And Perth works. Very good. Make sure you lock all layers. And what we'll do is we'll clean up this a wee bit. Select this Paris layer. That's the top of these 3. And here there's a folder. Click on that. And put Paris in that folder. Put Cairo in that folder. And Perth in that folder. And then close this button there. And we don't have to see all them lines. Select this one here, which is the city buttons, and insert 3 layers. 1, 2, 3. Call in the top one Montreal. The one under that is going to be Cairo, because we're doing the Paris buttons now, and this bottom one Perth. Lock all the layers, select the Montreal layer, and select frame 1. Open the library panel, come down to this create a new symbol, and this is going to be Paris to Montreal. _MC. Okay. While we're inside this movie clip, call this plane. Select frame 1. Open up the library and grab this movie clip plane and stick it right there. And as long as you can center it like we have been if you want, but I'm just going to put it with my eye. Going back to scene 1. Pulling this up a little bit. And this one's going to be on Paris going to Montreal. So I'm going to select that frame 1 of the Montreal layer, open the library, and find Paris to Montreal movie clip and put it right there. Now, because it's going to go the other way, when I get inside of it, I'm going to turn that plane around. Double click. Now we're inside the movie clip. The first thing I want to do is invert that. So while it's highlighted, modify, transform, flip horizontally, and I'm just going to go straight across with this one. I'm not going to put the arch in. I'm going to do a simple tween, and I'm going to make it up to 80 frames, 80-ish. Insert a keyframe, and using my arrow keys, I'm taking them over to there, and I'm putting it down on Montreal. There. Come up in here, right click, create a classic tween. And if I hit my enter button, that works. Alright. Let's go right here, click on that, get that fuzzy square and pull it one to the right. So now on frame 1 I don't have anything. Lock that layer, insert a layer, select frame 1, call this action script AS, select frame 1, open the action panel, stop, STOP, open close bracket semicolon. Now if I go back to scene 1, highlight this Paris right there and make sure it has a move instance name Paris to Montreal MC. PARIS to MONTREAL _MC. I'm going to do these two. I'll do one more of these with you, then you can do the next one yourself. Lock the Montreal, unlock the Cairo. At this time, let's go right up to here on all these frames. Click, drag it down. Make sure we got them all in one motion. Right click, insert keyframes. Brings our maps up. Open the library panel. New symbol. This is going to be Paris to Cairo. PARISTOCARIO _MC. Close that off. Pick up that plane. Put them on here. Call this layer plane. Go back to scene 1. Select the Cairo one here. Open the library panel. Grab that Paris to Cairo. Double click on it. Pull this up. I got frame 1 selected. Pick up your selection tool. Highlight the airplane. Modify. Transform. Flip horizontally. So we're going to go that way with it. And we're going to do this with the other format. Right click. Create motion tween. And here, right click, insert keyframe and position. And we're going to take it and put it out like this just a little bit. Then we're going to, let's go up to frame 50-ish. Insert keyframe. And let's call this one skew. Select frame 50. Click on the plane. Put it down here. And also pick up the freeze transform tool and do this. And you sort of get that. Hit the enter sign and you sort of get the plane turning like that. Lock that layer. Insert a layer. Action script. Select frame 1 and stop. Let's go back to scene 1 and make sure that this plane has a movie clip has an instance name, PARIS to CARIO underscore MC. Make sure all the layers are locked. Now we got to do the Paris to Perth. Open the library, new symbol, PARIS TOPERTH underscore MC. Put the plane on here. And go back to scene 1. Well, let's call this plane. PLANE. Back to scene 1. Unlock the Perth layer. Select frame 1. Get to where you see Paris. I still got that's the plane there. From the last one, I believe. Let's bring the Paris to Perth on here. Paris to Perth. Double click on it. Now we're inside that movie clip. And Paris Perth is down here. Let's choose the arched one this time. Let's click on the highlight the plane. Right click. Create motion tween. And let's go up to about 95 frames. Insert keyframe. Positioning, select frame 95, make sure there's nothing in between here, and click on the plane, and we're going to have him come down like this into Perth on an arch. Oops. On an arch like that. Now go back at this double arrow here. Pull it up 1 frame so there's nothing on frame 1. Lock that layer, insert a layer. Action script, AS. Select frame 1. Open the actions panel, stop. STOP, open and close, semicolon. Now while we're at it, let's finish this one off. Back to scene 1. Select frame 1. Highlight that airplane. Make sure we give it a movie clip, an instance name, PARIS TOPERTH underscore MC. And we had a problem with that Cairo one, because I shouldn't be seeing an airplane now. And it's this Cairo one we're seeing. See this? Now you may have figured this out. Double click on it right here. get that double arrow and pull it one, oops, get the double arrow, pull it one to the right. Now let's write the code for this. So right here, frame 10, where Paris starts, on the ActionScript line, insert a blank keyframe. Open this one back here, this Actions panel, and select all of this. Right-click, copy. Select that frame 10 of the Actions panel, open the Actions panel, paste it in, and this first line is going to be the Montreal button. M-O-N-T-R-E-A-L. Montreal button. And it's going to be Paris to Montreal. So I'm going to cut Montreal. Right click, cut. Click after Paris, paste. Get rid of the 2 and put Paris to Montreal. Copy that. Right click, copy it. Paste it in here. Paris to Montreal. Paste it in there. Paste it in here. Paste it here. Now, copy the word Paris. Come down here for the Cairo button, where you see Montreal, put in Paris. Paste Paris there. Paste Paris here. I know this looks like a lot of repetition, and it is, but this is being done for someone that's just learning Flash. Here, same thing. Everywhere we see a Montreal, put a Paris. I often miss these, so. Now, I'm just going to do this. This formats it a little bit, straightens it out, and this checks for some obvious errors. Okay, let's test this out. Control, test, test. No obvious errors. Okay, I'm still on the, no, it's not Montreal. So if I click Cairo, it's going to come from Montreal, and I know that works. So let's go back to scene 1, and let's open the Actions frame 1. And right now, let's not stop here. So just 2 forward slashes, Control, test movie, test. And this jumped us right up to Paris. So now if I click Montreal, the plane should fly to Montreal. If I pick Perth, one is flying down to Perth. And if I pick Cairo, this one flies to Cairo. Now, these ones are still coming from Montreal. Let's see if I can pick Cairo. These are still coming from the other places, because we have to straighten that out, because this action code is still up here. Even though this is a new keyframe, a blank keyframe, this action code still works all the way up. So that's all right. Make sure all the layers are locked. And just as we put all these in a folder, all these for the Montreal scene, click Montreal here, insert a folder, and put Montreal in here, Cairo in here, and Perth in here. And now that cleans that up a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing now for Cairo and Perth. Make the different airplane movie clips. And when I have them done, I'll get back. So now I have 4 folders. I call this one Montreal, this one Paris, this one Cairo, and this is Perth. And in each of them I have the 3 cities that it sends flights to. And I've taken and copied the ActionScript and changed it accordingly. Let's look at this Montreal ActionScript for a minute. We have that, but make sure there are 2 forward slashes in the stop here when we test it out. The Paris one, make sure there's 2 forward slashes. We've gone through this. This one here is for the Cairo, and I'm going to leave it on the screen for a few seconds for you to see it. I'm just going to move it to the right there a little bit. Okay, that's for the Montreal button. There's for the Paris button. There's for the Perth button. And again, if you noticed that the 2 forward slashes, so the stop is not stopping. And I'll show you what I wrote for the Perth one. This time there are no forward slashes, so we're going to stop on this one. This is the Montreal button. Just move it to the right so you can see how that ends here. This is for the Paris button. And this is for the Cairo button. So now when we test this out, we're going to jump right to frame 30, which puts us into the Perth. And because these are all have no stops, we jump right to here. And as I said before, the action script carries through, so all the buttons are going to work for all the different cities. So let's test this. Now if I press Montreal, I'm going to get a plane from all these points right now. So that works. And I get this code up here. I'm going to get 3 here. I'm going to get 3 here. And getting 3 come to here. There's going to be a follow-up. Flash Tutorial Request 31 Global Destination Part 3. Save this FLA if you plan on doing that last part. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.